Hi, Mindvalley community. So we received a bunch of incredible questions about WildFit. As you know, the next WildFit quest begins very shortly on Mindvalley. And those of you who've been waiting to sign up for WildFit, now's the time you can join the next batch of students. See, WildFit opens up on Mindvalley twice a year. And the reason is because we found that the results students get, the completion rate, the incredible success stories come when people go through this as a group. So we don't want to keep WildFit open year long. We only open up 2 batches. And just like you're going through live classes at university, you join with about 1,000 other students who go through the WildFit transformation together and support each other in this journey. Which is why I want to make sure I answer these questions. So those of you who are on the fence, who are thinking about this but not quite sure or have questions, you're going to get them answered here. Now, the first and the most common question we get is WildFit suitable for vegetarians or vegans? And the answer is yes. Now, we'll admit it's going to be a little bit tougher if you're vegetarian or vegan, because just like in regular life, vegetarians and vegans have to make more difficult decisions when it comes to going out to a restaurant or choosing the foods to eat. The same is true for WildFit, because WildFit is going to look at a lot of the foods that you eat, and a chunk of it you're going to have to remove selectively in certain weeks, right? So obviously, if you're a vegetarian, what's left is going to be a smaller chunk of available, suitable WildFit foods. For example, WildFit does recommend a lot of meat. If you're a vegetarian, obviously that's out, but you can substitute that with lots of different things. But in the end, you still end up with the benefits of WildFit, because even vegetarians often make bad food choices that lead to obesity, that lead to hormonal imbalance, that lead to lower levels of energy than what you could have if you were eating the right vegetarian food. For example, because I come from an Indian family and many Indians are completely vegetarian, it hasn't stopped the fact that a large number of my family members are clinically obese. And several of them lost a great deal of weight when they went on WildFit, because they learned that some of the stuff that was vegetarian that they were eating were actually fundamentally bad for their body. Next question we have is, I'm allergic to certain types of food. Will WildFit help me? 2 really interesting things happen when you have food allergies and you go through WildFit. Now again, of course, if you have food allergies, talk to your doctor. Don't eat anything that is recommended in WildFit if you know you're allergic to it. But one of the beauties of WildFit is that some people have found that some of the things that they once thought they were allergic to, they actually were not allergic to. It was something else in their diet that was causing the inflammation. They were attributing it to the wrong food. So if you have a food allergy, of course, speak to your doctor. Don't take the food you're allergic to, even if it's recommended in the WildFit diet. But know that WildFit is going to give you more data, more intelligence, more wisdom on your actual allergy. And you might even find that what you think you are allergic to is not really the case. Should I take WildFit when I'm breastfeeding? Firstly, if you're breastfeeding, talk to your doctor. But WildFit, in principle, is great if you're breastfeeding, because WildFit is about educating you to take out the stuff that's poisonous to your body, such as sugars, and to instead bring in the stuff that elevates your body's level of nutrition, that gives you a healthier dose of the right foods. Now, this translates to the milk that you're then passing on to your baby. You are giving your baby healthier foods. You're giving your baby less of the crap that we sometimes take into our bodies. As you know, when you're breastfeeding, you give up alcohol. You already have to make lots of different sacrifices. This often means that if you're breastfeeding and you go on WildFit, the overall impact is a little bit easier, because many of the stuff that WildFit's going to ask you to give up, you've already given up. Now, at week 6 of WildFit, that's when you might get some energy drops as your engine switches from a sugar-burning engine to a fat-burning engine. Now, if you're breastfeeding, that particular few days as your engine switches might be a little bit tougher. You might feel a little bit more tired, but it's definitely a hump you can overcome. And when you come out of that hump, your energy levels shoot up, because your body has learned to start burning the fat that we're all carrying. And this is the famous elevation of energy that people get in the latter half of WildFit. Why is the price so high? Well, compared to what? It's under $1,000 for an incredible change in your body. Look at me. You've seen pictures of me 2 years ago and pictures of me today. I've shed some 5 kilograms or 11 pounds since WildFit. 1 year later, it hasn't come back. In fact, I've gotten fitter. I've changed the way I consume food. Right now, I'm having a glass of black coffee. I would never drink black coffee 2 years ago before WildFit. I would go to Starbucks and get a mocha. I love my coffee with milk and sugar. Right now, I can't even take coffee with milk and sugar. WildFit has completely re-engineered the way my brain thinks and made me love healthy food. It's a shift that happens for life. I put my mom on WildFit, my dad on WildFit. Both of them, who were borderline obese, have lost so much weight, and it's lasted 18 months later. So WildFit is one of the best investments you can make in your health. It's $1,000, but think about this. If you go for a regular diet program, right? Many of the diet programs which are out there, you're paying about $500 to $600 a month. And then many other programs get you hooked on subscription programs for supplements. With WildFit, you do it once, you change the way you eat, you don't have to keep enrolling or subscribing to something, you don't have to commit to supplements, you're done. It fixes the way you think, the way you relate to food, and that's why it's one of the best investments you can make in yourself. Now also think this, the average American spends $3,500 a year on medicine, right? When you go on WildFit, your biology changes. You become so much more healthy. One of the things I'm most proud of is that I haven't taken a pill in over 365 days. Not even an aspirin for a headache. I haven't taken a pill in 365 days because WildFit has gotten me to eat so much better that my health levels have just gone up. I used to get a cold or a flu every 3 to 4 months because my kids would come back from school, bring all of these diseases home with them, cuddle up with me in bed, and then cough in my face and infect me, and I would get sick. Since WildFit, that stopped happening. I don't get sniffles, I don't get flus, I haven't been on antibiotics or even an aspirin in over a year. And so you end up saving a lot in that way with better health. But also think about how much more you're going to make, how much more productive you're going to be with that higher level of energy. WildFit gets rid of the afternoon slump. It gets rid of tiredness. It improves your cognitive ability. So you do better at work and you bring in more money. It is one of the greatest multipliers of your productivity and income you can imagine. The cost of it, peanuts compared to that. Ask anyone here in the Mindvalley community who's been to WildFit if they found it worth it. Go ahead, post a comment, look at the replies you're going to get. What if I missed the calls? It's not a problem. You can submit questions in advance. Recordings are available. When I did WildFit, I did miss all of the calls. I was so busy, but I still had incredible results from it. The calls are an add-on. If you want to be part of that group, dial in, have additional support. But if you're just going through the WildFit Quest with the videos on the Quest app, you're still going to have an incredible experience with WildFit. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this FAQ. I cannot wait to see you in the WildFit program, and I genuinely feel that this is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself, and I'm so proud that WildFit is part of Mindvalley.